You're saying the market's closed Friday or Monday? I don't think the market's closed on, what is it, Good Monday? No, I don't think we're closed on Monday. I know we close early on Friday. I'm not going to be trading on Friday. If anybody in here is trading on Friday, please rethink your decision because I don't understand why you would. There's going to be no liquidity. The market closes early. Nobody's coming in after Thanksgiving to come trade on Friday. So there's going to be hardly any liquidity. You're going to get caught in a bunch of pop and drops. You have to avoid it. I know some people come in and they want to trade every day, but you've got to know when to sit back. And that is one of those days where you just have to sit back. Yeah, no, 21 actually already said that he was going to. He said he's going to set price alerts and come in and trade it. So if you want to come in and trade with 21, then you can come do that. Word straight from his mouth. All right, so what do we have for the morning? ANGH. We're gonna look through all these gappers and got. ANGH, I'm not really a fan of. We've got a lot of setups on last night's watch list, so it should help us have a pretty good day today. SYM still grinding higher. That was on last night's watch list too. We liked that over. Where did we like that? We liked it over 43.30, so it's already hitting targets, sadly. SYM is already hitting targets, so we're going to be leaving that one alone. I don't like... Let me fix my settings here. They're already fixed. RELI. I doubt goes again today. We played it earlier this morning over VWAP from 121 to 128. I don't see that going again today. SHOT going much higher. What? When does this thing ever stop, dude? I mean, it trades horrible, but it just doesn't want to stop. This thing is up like 400% this month, this week? When does it stop? How, I mean, maybe we can watch it over yesterday's high at 475? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's definitely one to keep on our radar if it does end up clearing up, but it hasn't cleared up at all this whole move, so I don't know if we're going to get to play it or not. And I think on the daily on shot, you've got range to... But it's kind of choppy up through here, is it not? Yeah. Over 5, it's really not too bad. It's like that 494 area. 494. Over that, you've actually got range to over 6. So shot is one for us to watch today. If it can get a little bit extended over the 5.2s, 5.3s, we can watch it for pullbacks. You've got range to about 6 and 6.3. I will watch shot today. Not a bad look actually at all, and I want to watch it over the 490s. If it can get extended over the 490s. I know that sounds counterintuitive to look for it to get extended, but I just want to see it pull away from this level and try and clear up a bit because it's been super choppy the last couple of days. Not really a way to play it. I do want to watch it today. It would almost be stupid not to because it's been running 30-something% every day. It's insane. Max risk is going to be like 490. You've got range here to about 6 and 6.3. If buyers can take it up over the 5s later. Okay, so SHOT we will watch today. The daily chart is insane. ABVC I don't like. RELI I don't like. ANGH finding buyers here it looks like. ANGH testing VWAP. Trying to get up over VWAP. You don't really have any range on ANGH. I'm not really a fan. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of ANGH. I do like shot though. Probably my favorite gapper that we've got. And last night I didn't like it at all just because of how it traded yesterday, but it's kind of cleared up this morning a little bit. So if that tape can clear up over there, we can get something to play. I don't like dicks. Okay, well that sounded wrong. I don't like DKS. Um, Christ. Oh man, somebody's gonna record that and it's gonna get posted. Um, what else we got? AI. Not a fan. Not too many gappers this morning. I'm not gonna be able to live that one down. Sometimes I just gotta say the ticker name instead of the company. Good grief. Too early in the morning for all this. Oh man. Well, anyways. Man. All right. Any ANGH though, I don't know. It's trying to hold overview up. I might watch it if it can hold overview up. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. And y'all got me off my A game now. I was all in the zone. Now I'm all lost where I was at. What was news on ANGH? What's the float on it? 14 and a half. You have news on ANGH? We're gonna watch if buyers find it overview up. And you've got range on the daily. Let's see, we're at 234 overview app. We've got range up to about 2.8. 2.8 and 3 is what I'm seeing on ANGH. So we'll look for that. If it can just find buyers over VWAP. Yeah, it is over VWAP at the moment, but yeah, no buyers on it really. Very, very light volume. Got a small buyer at like 226. You want to play ball? What do we want to do? I'll let you guys decide. Do we play ball? Do we not play ball? I'll let you guys. Maybe that's what we should do this week. Let you guys decide what we're playing. See, flip ANGH. Starting to pull away from VWAP here. Watch for pullback entries on it. I really wanted an entry down there at 232, but I missed my entry. Of course. It's really how this whole week has gone. I just keep on missing the entries that I want. It's so annoying. It is so annoying, but what can you do? Could have been a nice win, but by the time I got it pulled up, it was already gone. Watch for a pullback entry, though. You'll have to risk like 235 on a pullback entry. Take it under 2.5s if you can. Watching it. I am watching it. Buyer stepping up at 238. Pulling back to 243. Buyers coming back in. Filling some small at 243. We're trying to. Build some small. Again, so far 2 for 2 this morning. I'll see what this wants to do. Here we go. Taking half out at 248. Trying to de-risk the trade real quick. 250. I've got a half left again, like I said, with stops at my entry at 240. I'll put them at 240. So it's a risk-free trade, but I'm going to leave them a little bit looser. Leaving stops at 240. A 243 entry. And it's a risk-free trade. We already took half out at 248 from a 243 entry. So if it hits my stop, I'll be out with a really, really tiny green, like micro green. Got a couple buyers sitting down below 240. Do not chase it up here, please. I told you guys I was trying to get filled 243. I got filled at 243. Make sure you're being smart. Don't go chasing it. This is a risk-free trade for me now. So entry is key, right? You can't come in and chase and expect to have the same outcome as me. Told y'all the entry that I wanted. Told y'all when I sold half. Just make sure you are managing your risk and taking the correct entries. Make sure you're not in here chasing like a fool right before Thanksgiving. You got to have money for Black Friday, and you're not going to have any money left for Black Friday if you're in here chasing. So be smart. Again, this is a risk-free trade. If it doesn't go, I'm out with really small green. If it does go, cool. I'm out with big green. You have the range here on the daily. Bid keeps on stepping up at 245 here. Let's see if it can hold and find buyers up over 250. Bit weak. Bit weak. But again, I'm going to leave it room to 240. And again, do not take your initial entry or chase it here. Here's 250. Buyer stepping back in at 244, 243. Needs to get over 253. Ready to sell if I need to. Got an open order ready to go if I need to execute. If I need to exit. You guys are ready to go. Make sure you guys are ready to go. Pulling back here again. Buyer still sitting below 240. I might get it stopped above my entry or right below my entry. Buyer coming back in at 247. Still sitting at 238. 242 now. They're stepping up to 242. They were at 238. Now they're up to 242. Starting to walk up the bid. Need to find buyers over 253 though. Looks like it wants to try and continue to accumulate here over the 2.4s. The buyer is still at 242 now. Will they stay? Will they go? Will they stay? Will they? 244 now. And again, if it can't go, it can't go. I'm going to cut if it can't go. And have tiny profit in the trade. I really wanted an entry here at like 235. Would have loved to have a 235 entry. By the time I got it pulled up, though, it was too late. But still got some little green on it. As long as you didn't chase, as long as you raised your stops, as long as you scaled out of your position up there, whenever it found buyers in the strength. That's the biggest thing is you guys have got to understand you get greedy and you end up waiting to scale out on the way down. You can't do that. You have to scale into strength. Whenever you see that strength in your trade, that's when you got to be trimming. You got to trim and take advantage of that buying pressure. A lot of people want to sit there and get greedy and wait for it to show weakness. Then at that point, it's too late. 241. If it breaks through 240, guys, I will be out with my small profit. And I'm out. Overall, literally made a couple of dollars in that trade. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Your entry was 248 somehow. Well, hopefully you cut it early then, because that is very, very high. That's almost at the high of day. Just sold half? No, brother. If you have a high entry that you didn't expect, why would you only sell half? If your entry is a lot higher than what you initially wanted per your plan, why would you only sell half? Because if you have a invalid entry, the whole trade is invalid. Yeah, but the risk doesn't matter. It's the trade itself. The fact that the trade that you took is not what you initially planned for means it's an invalid trade. So you shouldn't be in that trade. You know, it's just like if you enter a trade and all of a sudden something flips in the setup and it doesn't look good anymore. Okay, just cut it. If you take an entry that you didn't expect or an entry that you didn't plan for, then just cut it. It doesn't kill you to take a loss or kill you to get out break even or with tiny little profit. Yeah, I really, really wanted that overview app at like 233, 240, 234. But yeah, at least I made a couple bucks on it. But that's my third trade of the morning from 250. After scales, I think we were like what 243 to like 244, literally a couple of dollars after scales. But yeah, you guys cannot be chasing. Did anybody in here get an entry over 245? Look, nobody should have because all you got to do, look, I had a limit set at 243. If price comes down and fills you, boom, you're in at the right price, right? You're not trying to get filled at 248, 249, 250. Hopefully nobody in here had a high entry. You've got to be aware, right? You've got to make sure you're holding yourself accountable when it comes to these entries. You don't want to get undisciplined and just start forcing things. Juan, you chased it, brother. What was your entry? Why? What made you enter at 248? I mean, this is a big issue because I told you guys, I said, look, I'm looking to get filled at 243. I said a specific price. You know, so if you miss an entry, you miss an entry. There's never a reason to chase. Juan, did you take a loss on it, or did you just sell full because of your entry? How did that work? You took a loss on it. See, but it doesn't matter if it's a big loss or not. It's the whole fact of the matter here. We have to figure out how you guys can stop this. I mean, obviously, I can't do anything more to fix it, right? But it's all up to you guys. And I know if two of you guys are saying that you've done it, a lot more of you chased, I'm sure. But this is why I always say people want to come in here and try to copy me, but then they'll chase, they'll ignore stop losses, they won't, scale their position out. There's too many variables at play. And it really just comes down to holding yourself accountable and actually taking this serious. That's really what this comes down to. There's never a reason to chase because there's always another trade, there's always another day. I don't see a reason to chase something like that. Now, if you got filled at like 244 or something, then okay. It's a little 1 cent difference. I know, that's not a big deal. But if you're chasing it and, you're chasing it up 2, 3% above me, I'm going to be selling into your entry, right? No, see, but y'all, if y'all want a picky entry, y'all have to just use your limits. Don't be buying the ask. Are you guys buying the ask or how's that? What are you guys doing? You guys must be buying the ask. Current price plus 2. 0.02. Yeah, that would get you filled at what? Trying to think off a pullback. If current, yeah, well, that's your problem though. See, I actually set a limit order at 243. I didn't use last price or the ask or anything like that. I literally just set a limit price at the price that I wanted to get filled at. and I waited until it pulled back and filled me. Yeah, if you're using a last price order and price is at 248 or 246, yeah, y'all are gonna get filled high. Wait for pullbacks. Wait for it to fill you. But that's dangerous. I see 3 of you now say you got filled at 248. That's extremely dangerous, and that means people took unnecessary losses, which isn't good. I mean, you guys got to figure this out. I'm not trying to be too hard on y'all, but I am at the same time because these are things that are easy fixes that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, and Blake, that's okay in most cases, but in a trade like this where I'm trying to get filled on a pullback, I wouldn't want to use last price. In most cases, you can definitely use last price, but in this case, it just wouldn't have made sense to. Yeah, RR, that's the right thing to do then. About 248 was a good pullback. Yeah, 248 wasn't a pullback. That was almost at the high. Even if you're only looking at this, current price range here, this near-term price range, I mean, you entered right here. Whereas, 243 way down here, right? Big difference. So, you've got to know how these order types work. If you're trying to get filled at a certain price, you wouldn't want to use last price, guys. You don't want to use last price. You don't want to buy at the ask. You don't want to use last price. And that's the difference between a loss and a winning trade, right? There's a huge difference between the two. But there's a huge difference between 248 and 243. I don't want to take any more time on that because we need to finish scanning, but stuff like that, it should not be happening at this point with a lot of you guys, and it's something that needs to be worked on for sure. It's just a lack of awareness when it comes to your entry and risk to reward. Yeah, well, you did the right thing, RR. You did the right thing by cutting it as soon as you saw you had an improper entry. That was good. Very, very good. Like that, y'all. Should not be happening. Now, if you're new, okay, but a lot of y'all been here for a long, long time. Let's look at the nightly watch list. All we have pre-market wise is, well, A and GH we already played. Shot we still have to watch. Where's that at right now? Okay, well maybe we don't have shot to watch. We've got ARM to look at. We've got ARM. I want to set a price alert on ARM at 58.60 or 58.70. Yeah, I'll set it at 58.70 for the 58.75 break. Yeah, we've also got SYM. That one already hit targets this morning, didn't it? I don't know that I like this anymore. Would you have range to? Don't have any range on this. No, I'm gonna leave it off. MRAI we had from last night's watch list. I think this gapped down in pre-market. No, it didn't, but we'd have to find buyers over the 118s. I mean, let's set a price alert on this at 118. And we've got PLTR. Daily is crazy on PLTR too. We like that over 21.6, and it's pulling back pretty quick here in pre-market, but I'll still set a price alert. You never know. Might get a crazy reversal off of lows. Who knows? Never, never know. Let's set one at 21.58. Anything, we can just watch it whenever it breaks later. CSCO. Do we like CSCO today? How did that open? Or how's it about to open? We like this over 48.40. Set a price alert at 48.36. LICY. We also have LICY. We like over. Where did we like this? Level here. 78.80 is the price on this. Setting a price alert at 78. Set at 78.80. I'll set it at 78.50. And we also have CDIO in case it wants to make a second day move. Is it holding up in pre-market? I haven't even looked at it. Not really, no. Nope, it is not. Okay, so we've got quite a few things to look at. I'm going to get everything that we're watching up on the little sticky note here. We've got LICY over 78.80. We've got CSCO for 48.40. Got PLTR over 21.60. Got MRAI over 118. Got ARM over 58.75. And pre-market wise, I don't think we really have a whole lot, honestly. I mean, you're looking at SHOT, which is already finding sellers over 5, and we've got ANGH, which we've already played, and I don't know if we're going to get to play that one again. A and F pulling up on our view app, but I don't like range on this. Kind of surprised there's not many setups that I actually think look too good this morning, and I thought that we'd come in today and have a lot. Maybe after open we find something that catches some buyers. But as of right now, it's kind of dead in the water pre-market. We've had 3 trades so far, not too bad. GPAK. Big volume. GPAK. Big volume and a lot of range on this. Take a look at GPAK. This thing is gapping up like 5% every second. What in the world? 104. We'll have to wait for pullbacks on this at this point. We'll have to see if it pulls back and sets up for us later. Got range to like 120, 140. Gamer Pakistan. Always these random tickers. We'll have to watch it later and see if it wants to set up. Maybe a review app, we can watch it later. I wouldn't watch it right now. I don't think it's a good look right now. It does have 120 and 140 if it decides to go higher later. Now we've got about 18 minutes until open. Let me know real quick. How many people do we have in here? 31. Let me know real quick. Anybody in here, do you have anything you're struggling with this week? Like any particular problem in your trading? Maybe it's something discipline-wise. Maybe it's something strategy-wise. Or last week, whenever. Or just overall. Let me know. We'll see if we can help you before the open. We've got 18 minutes, and we're just going to be sitting here waiting for something else to hit the scanner. I want to look through. Gappers are super weak this morning. Really hoping we get something that breaks at the open. Maybe we get something that triggers some sort of move at open, because right now we've just got a lot of larger cap names. We've got ARM, PLTR, CSCO, and then we have our two small caps, which I doubt are going to meet criteria today. Pickiness and lack of planning. But see, these aren't things that I can help you guys with, though. That's the thing. Did I explain the level 2? Macchiato, were you in the class on Sunday? We had a class on level 2 on Sunday. You was? Or you were? I'll get that posted up either today or hopefully today. It was an hour and a half long class. So it takes forever to get it up. You need to watch it again. I'll get it posted back up. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are having trouble waking up in the morning or planning, I can't really help you guys with that, unfortunately. I mean, the only person that can help you with that is yourself. I mean, I don't see why. I mean, if you guys aren't excited to come in and trade every day, there's a problem. I mean, this is fun, right? You come in every day, we can just trade together. You learn a new skill. I think it's fun. I think it's something that's fun to learn. It can be frustrating if you do it wrong. It can be frustrating if you make it frustrating on yourself by making it harder on yourself. But, if you're new to trading and you're trading with small size, I think it's pretty fun. It's a fun thing to learn. So it shouldn't be a motivating thing more than anything. You think you're making it harder on yourself? I don't know, brother. There's a fine line between making it too hard and too easy on yourself. I mean, you still got to put in the work. I mean, you've got to make sure you're planning for all of your setups. You've got to make sure that you are studying. You got to make sure you're taking it serious. I mean, looking at the big picture of everything before you take a trade, making sure you're taking the best setups, executing well. Slow it down. What do you mean by slow it down? As in be more patient with setups or take the process slower, like the learning process? So you got to be more patient, is what you're saying. Yeah. So what that really comes down to, if you have to be more patient with your entries, it means that for one, you've got FOMO whenever you see an entry like that, and two, it shows a lack of understanding of the actual setups itself. If you understand the setup, you'll know what entry to look for. If not, you're just going to look for any random entry you can get and just hop in and hope to ride it up, right? So there's kind of two parts to that. But if you guys are struggling with anything, toss it in the chat. Don't feel ashamed. I mean, you guys are in here to learn, so what's range on save? So save was on the watch list 2 days ago. I don't like it anymore. It's already hit targets, I believe. Yeah, there's no range on save at all. I think it was on the watch list on Sunday night. But it's pretty much filled that gap now on the daily on save. I've got all of my price alerts set. Back this channel here. What do we have? No. But yeah, if you guys are ever struggling, make sure that you're speaking up. I don't know. I mean, if it's entry that you're struggling with, if it's size you're struggling with, if it's something related to planning you're struggling, just anything trading related that you're struggling with, just feel free to toss it in the chat. I mean, it's always better to hold yourself accountable and actually speak up and get help. That's why you guys are all here. No, it's not fun, but gotta speak up and get help. I'd like to hear more about entry. As far as you guys elaborate just a little bit. Two of y'all asking about entry. Elaborate just a little bit. One thing you've done this week to boost confidence, keep it literally saying your thoughts out loud. Yeah, that's a good idea. Future, why is size tough for you? What part about size is hard? Use hotkeys. If you're entering it ask or last, what do you set it for? I'm not sure what you mean. So you use hotkeys, you're entering it ask or last, what do you set it for? What do you set what for? What are you trying to set? I typically don't enter at the ask. At worst, it'll be last with an offset. Let's see, size of stuff for you because you haven't set a percent for a normal trade. So, I mean, what are you risking in the trade? What is your risk? You rather than focusing on the size, what is your risk in the trade on average? Are you risking like half a percent of your account? Or are you risking a tenth of percent of your account or 1% of your account? I mean, what's you got to know what you're risking so you can size accordingly. You know, if you're just going in with 6 to 10%, that's a huge range as far as size goes. That's almost what twice as much size, 6 to 10. Historically, no, there's no historically. We don't need that. Listen, how much of your account are you comfortable with risking in every trade? Look, you guys make it too complicated. Look, if you have $1,000 account, I don't need to know the exact number. I don't need to know the size of your account. But say you have $1,000 account and you want to risk $10 a trade. That means you're risking 1% of your account every trade. That's all. I mean, it's super easy. You don't need to know your average risk. It's just how much of your account that you are, you know, comfortable with losing in a setup. 25 bucks max. Okay. Well, the dollar amount doesn't really matter. You've got to figure out what percent of your account that $25 is, and then size accordingly for that. 2.5% is what you're saying. Well, that's a very large amount to risk in a single trade. That's a very large amount to risk in a single trade. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I wouldn't risk more than 1%. Even that is pushing it. Yeah, I wouldn't risk any more than 1%. Um, so what you've got to do is size according to whatever that risk is. So let's just say, for example, it's $10. You just have to size so that what if, your loss is going to be $10. That's all you got to do. That's literally all you have to do. Yeah, it is so simple. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I always say. You guys just overcomplicate it, dude. I mean, if you're comfortable with losing a percent in a trade or $10, whatever it is, just size so that, on ANGH, for example, if we were in at 243, risking 235 or whatever the risk was, I already forget, but Just as an example, say you got 2% of risk in a trade, you would just size according to whatever that is so that if you lose that trade, that 2% equals 10 bucks or whatever. But it's really important that you keep size consistent. You guys shouldn't be risking 2.5% of your account in every trade. That's a lot. A lot of your account you're risking in every trade. So these are questions that need to be asked though. So if you guys are struggling with it too and you need help, speak up. Get help. These are very easy things, but it's the basic kind of foundation you guys need to really make a difference. Because it can't really work if your size is wrong. I mean, this is all based on probability, and if the size is off, the probability doesn't really matter. Kind of throws it all out of whack. We've got about 7 minutes until the open, and we've got our watches, but really hoping something else starts to perk up after open. But I feel like volume is going to be really lacking today. So far, we've got a 11% win on ABVC, a 6% on RELI, and a pretty much break even on ANGH. I mean, literally a couple bucks was made on that. I think 0.5% at most. Literally at most, but what else we get? You know, understand it? Yeah, I mean, don't use that sheet for every single trade. Just use it for a baseline. So if say your average risk in a trade is like 2%, say your average loss is 2%, then you would just put in that average loss being 2%. To say you've got 2% risk, put in your, you know, that 1% drawdown on your account, and then it'll calculate the size you can take. But yeah, don't do it for every trade. It'll make you take some pretty stupid size. But yep, sizing is that easy. You just have to keep it consistent. So if you want to risk 1% of your account, just size accordingly. You can actually enter with a dollar amount rather than a share amount, which might help you speed up that process if you have a hard time calculating on the fly. So you should see on Webull there's a little dollar sign next to quantity settings. If you just hit that, you can just enter with dollar amounts instead. It won't be as accurate, and you're gonna have to switch it back to scale out, but you can definitely use that if it helps with entry. That way, if your average loss is 2% in these trades, you can just put a dollar amount that's on average, whatever. Makes it easier to calculate rather than trying to figure out share size or share count with share price and all that. MCAF. Load on this. Did it already make a move this morning? No, it didn't. I want to look at MCAF. Just been sideways all morning. It's catching a lot of volume here after 7 a.m. Really similar to a setup we had earlier in the week. Was it OPTX or something else? Got range to like what the 12s up here, which it already kind of hit this morning. I might watch it over. I don't know. I like the daily over 12, but I don't like it in pre-market over 12. I hate how this looks over 12 in pre. I'll keep it on my radar though. I'll watch it over like I don't know. Do I want to watch this? I like the setup. I think it's got potential to do something crazy, but I don't know. Set a price alert at 11.90 and see what it does. AIRE gapping down, testing all-time lows off of $4. Might be one to watch out at the open if it can bounce. That range back to, honestly, it's got a ton of range. It's got range back to about 5.7, 5.5, 5.7. Yeah, I'll watch this out of the open. If it can find buyers over 4, one that I want to watch. One minute until open. Watch AIRE get open. I want to watch this over $4. Market's about to open. I'm watching this hardcore the open, guys. Has range all the way back to 5.5. They can find buyers at open.